Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to another episode of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is episode number 38, and in this episode we're going to be tackling the Ice Cavern and hopefully getting right up to right before the mini-boss of this dungeon, or mini-dungeon, or whatever you want to call it here. In the Ice Cavern there's going to be several new enemies that we're going to be faced with. The first of which here is the Freezer. Watch out for its freezing breath to destroy it completely before it revives. So, yes, that's basically what you want to do. Just slice it a couple of times with your Master Sword, and that will eventually take it out. If it does hit you, you will be frozen, and you will be taking damage for the duration of the time that you are frozen. The other thing that we're going to be dealing with a lot here, aside from the falling stalactites, we also have these blades going across the floor. And it makes it very difficult because it's so hard to maneuver and avoid the blades while you're running on these icy platforms because you don't get really any traction. So that part kind of sucks. We're also going to see ice keys in here, and I believe that's it for the new enemies, if I remember correctly. We also have the mini-boss, but that will be something different, and I'll explain that when we get to it. It's one of the easiest mini-bosses in the entire game, in fact. Okay, so, I went the wrong way there for a second. I apologize about that, but got it all straightened out. In this room here, we have a silver rupee puzzle that we have to solve, and we have to avoid, well, first of all, the flying pots that will attack you when you get close, and also this spinning icicle thing with obviously sharp edges. You want to go against the wall here to get this silver rupee, and before leaving, I suggest using your hookshot to kill this golden Skulltula that is hanging out on the wall over here. So we get that. There's going to be a couple of golden Skulltulas throughout this dungeon. The best way to avoid the spinning blades are to either roll and time the roll correctly, or use your shield, like that. And, well, I guess that was a roll, but you can also use your shield to just kind of duck under it. Either or works, it doesn't really matter what you use. For this one, it's kind of tricky. You do have to jump off the ledge to get this rupee. I suggest doing it when the blade is directly under you. That way, you have time through the cutscene to be able to avoid it when it comes back around the second time. That'll open the door, and now we can head on through into the next room. In this room, we have, well, it looks like just one Freezer, and some stalactites falling and whatnot. You can kill the Freezer pretty easily, and yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. Of course, you can also roll past the blades that are going across the floor if you need to. In this room, there's going to be ice keys flying around, and also there's freezers up on top of these pillars here. So, I suggest before trying to go up and kill the Freezer that you take care of these ice keys first, because they will freeze you, and they will continue to turn into ice keys even after you get rid of their ice by hitting their shield. So I suggest using your bow at the beginning of this room. You can just go stand by the doorway, and you should be able to see all of them. At least one of them, though, you're going to have to shoot from pretty far away, so you have to have good aim like me. That dexterity right there. Archery skills. There's also quite a few Freezers, as I mentioned, and I suggest just waiting for them to try to blow cold air at you, and then you can jump at them and kill them pretty easily. It only takes 2 or 3 hits with the Master Sword to get rid of them. Now, when we jump over to this platform here, it's blue fire. This blue fire doesn't seem natural. Maybe you can use it for something. Well, thanks, Navi. That's really, really helpful of you. But actually, what we're going to do is get rid of what's in our bottles, because we actually are going to need all of them. And you can capture this blue fire in the bottles. And this is actually what the... I think it's the potion shop? I'm not sure. It's one of the shops. They actually sell blue fire. And that's what it is. So I need to drink all of my Lon milk and use my fairy, because you're going to need as many bottles as you can carry, pretty much, of this stuff to burn through and melt the red ice that's all over the place. And we will actually need to take a bottle with us outside when we leave this dungeon, because we do need to melt a few things outside as well. such as King Zora. And also, I think the other one is the door to the Zora shop, which I didn't actually go past, but that is also frozen. Okay, so I'm just curious. I guess it takes the same amount of hits. I was just curious to see if you could just destroy these freezers even faster with a Megaton Hammer Strike, but apparently that is not the case. I know in Majora's Mask you can kill freezers in one hit with a fire arrow, but we don't have that yet, so... Anyway, you're going to want to use the blue fire that we just acquired to melt the ice around this treasure chest and pick up the dungeon map. Obviously this is optional and you never need to acquire the dungeon map, but I like to show where they are because it kind of helps with navigating throughout the rooms if you do end up getting lost for whatever reason. So I suggest refilling up the bottle that you just used for, well, burning down the flame, or not the flames, I can't talk. Burning down the ice around the treasure chest. I suggest refilling that bottle, and because you're going to need all of the fire that you can get. And I don't know why I can't jump up this ledge. I'm just having a super fail right now. I can't speak, nor can I climb up simple ledges. Oh my goodness. Well, Mr. Freezer is back in this room here. You can kill him pretty easily. So we're going back the way we came, and we're going to go back into the room with these spinning ice blades of doom. And there's actually a couple of walls that we can melt now with the blue fire. You're going to want to go to the left-hand side first, because the goodies are on the left and the correct path is actually on the right. So we're going to do the left first. Avoid the blade, of course, and then you're going to want to follow the path into the following room. And as you can see, there's more blue fire here, so that actually is a more easily accessible blue fire than the other room because it's closer to where we're going to be going. There are enemies in here, however, and I don't know if it's just this one Keese, but there's also a golden Skulltula in here. So, you can actually destroy all the ice that's on the ground and kill the Keese before it even starts to fly around, if you're careful. And next what we're going to do, there are the other Keese. Again, you can do the same thing. These keys won't even take off if you just barely destroy the ice formations on the ground. As long as you don't run at them or run towards the treasure chest, you'll be okay. After you kill the keys, you can melt the ice surrounding the treasure chest, and we're going to open it to find the compass. With this, we'll be able to find where the rest of the hidden treasure chests are in this dungeon. Although this dungeon is very small, I don't think it's that much bigger than the bottom of the well, so we should be done with this by the next episode at the very beginning. Over here, we have another block of red ice that we can melt with the fire that we got in this room, or the previous room. And that will reveal a heart piece. We have one more thing that we need to collect before we can leave this room, and I'm going to pull out my trusty hookshot for that. And on the wall over here, it's actually a pillar, there's a golden Skulltula, so you can kill that with your hookshot and collect the token. Now that we have everything in this room, we're going to refill our bottles with blue fire to make sure that we have a full inventory. And we're going to go back into the room with the ice blades yet again, and go across the way, across the way, and melt the wall on this side in order to go towards the room with the dungeon item, and that's where we're headed now. So melt that wall, and we're going to follow it into another room here after I destroy all these ice formations. For some reason, I just love destroying them. And it's going to be another silver rupee puzzle, except this one is a lot more complicated. So, the first thing that you want to do when you come into this room, first of all, you can hear that there is a golden Skulltula in here, but don't worry about that just yet. It's just hanging out on the wall over there. It's not going anywhere. Make sure you track down all of the ice keys and kill them first. Once you've done that, you can use the hookshot on the golden Skulltula and collect the token. And that's going to be all the enemies in this room. So, now we need to focus on pushing this block around the room so that we can collect all of the silver rupees. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. You'll do this all the time, unless you're just better than me, which is very possible. But I just climb on top of the block all the time. But anyway, if you do mess up, or if you put it in a wrong place, or whatever may happen, you can always push it off the ledge, because this platform is actually not all attached. As you can see, you can push the block actually off the ledge, and it will reappear in its original position, so then you can maneuver it in a different way to get to different areas. And that's what we will be doing, because we can't get all the rupees through one path. So that one you don't actually need the block for, which is nice. We can slide the block over here, and that will allow us to get this silver rupee right here. So I think we're missing, what, 2 now? And as you can see, there are red rupees just kind of levitating in midair, and Navi turns green underneath them. So we're going to pull out our ocarina, and we're going to play the Song of Time. And what that's going to do is create song blocks for us that kind of also levitate in midair, and that will allow us to jump on top of them. Jump on top of them, Link. Go. Go. Thank you. And you can pick up the 3 red rupees, which is worth 60 rupees, actually, but it doesn't matter to me because my inventory is full, even with having the biggest wallet. There's blue flame over here if you need it. I'm going to fill up my last bottle, and now we need to push this block off the edge. After pushing the block off the edge, as you can see, it will reform over here in its original position, so now we can push it off to the left, and that will allow us to grab this last rupee over here that's actually on the floor, and we're going to need to push it off the edge once again. After you reset it and stop climbing on it, you can push it straight across and then all the way over to the right, and that's going to allow us to jump into this alcove. And make sure you have blue fire. If you don't have any blue fire, you can either go back, or you can use the blue fire that is in this room by the song blocks, or Song of Time blocks, that is, to fill up your bottles. And that's going to be the last silver rupee of this room. That will open the door, and I think we're going to have to push the block back into the abyss because, yeah, we're going to. Can't get it away from the wall there. So it's going to reform again in its original position. This puzzle seems kind of complicated, but it's really not. It's just a lot of repetitive stuff. So anyway, the area that we're trying to get to is over on the left there in that corner. And it's in that area that's kind of above the ground. So, oh, did I just do that wrong? I hope not. I think I can push it over and then down and then over again, and then I should be able to make that jump. It'll be a little bit awkward, but it should work. So of course you can push it directly over there, but I didn't do that quite the right way. If you do it this way, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You should be able to make that jump pretty easily. Alright, Link, get up there. Get up there, thank you. Let's do this. If you roll off the edge in the corner, you should be able to make that jump. And watch out for the falling stalagmites, and of course the freezer that's hanging out here. Destroy it very quickly or destroy it from afar. I believe you can destroy them with your arrows. Hook shots, though, be careful. It does damage them, and it brings you to them as well, which can cause some issues if they're beginning to blow their icy breath like what they were with what I just did. Anyway, use your blue fire again, and that will melt the red ice that is surrounding the pots and blocking the path. You can pick up a couple of rupees, and you'll enter into this really weird room, and the door will lock behind you. This is the mini-boss room, and that's what we're going to be doing in the next episode. But thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for episode number 39. Game on.